Oh, look at that. Now we're going to use our graphing calculator to draw a histogram. So it says, turn your stat plot on. Stat plot is up on the top. It's in blue. So you're going to hit second and y equals. And you have a whole bunch of plot things. We're just going to do plot number 1. So we want plot number 1 to say on instead of off. So if you cursor, oh nope, you just have to be on plot number 1 and hit enter. There we go. Then now I can change my choices. We want plot number 1 to be on. Right now off is highlighted, so I'm just going to enter so on is in the black box instead of off. So up here on the top is where your stat plot is. You have to do second function and the y equals to get that. Then we're going to do number 1 because we're just going to do plot number 1. Yep. And then we're going to turn it on instead of off. So again, we're just going to enter because we're already on. Now it's turned on. So on your screen, you should see the on blinking. So, cursor down to type. We're going to highlight the histogram icon and press enter. The histogram icon looks like it's about the third one under by type. Type is the next row down, so cursor down and then select the third one and again hit enter on it. It's blinking.
Which, or L1 or?
We'll get to that. We're not to list 1, but we'll get to that. Because we got to put our data into list 1. Type values into list 1.
Which one's the histogram icon?
The histogram one looks, it's a third one where it says type.
Okay.
It's a third one over.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I was nice, I think. Where did I get those numbers from? Were those from the previous ones or were those from a different one? I gotta look. 1. Nope, that started with 21. I probably used it on a different problem. It was one of our problems we did. Okay, we're gonna have to type our data in because I used it. So now we gotta do stat 1 to edit, type in our list of data. So again, if you have things in there, clear them out. And type in your numbers. 7, enter, 2, enter. I think these were the first ones we practiced sorting. Okay, we got 23 there, so I can sort those out. I don't even know if I needed to sort them. I probably didn't even need to sort them because probably it sorts for me. It didn't tell me I had to sort, I just did it anyway. We type our values into list 1. Let me know when you got your values into list 1. You don't need to sort them. So it says after you have them in list 1, go to the zoom stat by pressing the zoom button and then the 9. So the zoom button is up at the top under the word format, right up the third one on the top, zoom. And we're pressing number 9 for zoom stat. On your screen should see your histogram. Now, if you're on your histogram, you can change the windows, but we don't need to. At least I don't think we need to. If we needed to make our window bigger or smaller, we could. Just for fun, I'm going to hit window anyway. If you hit
air.
Yours says air. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So wait, how do you go back to the thing?
Okay, so let's go back to your list. So I'm going to do stat and 1, and your list is in there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up here just to check your stat plot. It's turned on. It's on a histogram. Don't know what's wrong
maybe
there.
because the plot 2 is on 2?
Oh, yes, let's turn plot 2 off.
Okay.
That would probably be the error. Okay, now do your zoom and number 9 for zoom stat. There we go.
Okay, cool.
So if you're on your window, you can change the what your viewing is. You could change your X maximum or minimum to 0 or 10 or whatever you might want it be. The maximum, whatever your maximum number is. Mine looks like it fits pretty good on the screen, but mine says I have from 1 to 43 with a scale of 6 and various things. But if I go back to my graph, so I'm going to hit the graph button. And I hit the trace. The trace is also up on the top. By the way, the graph is on the top and the trace is on the top. Notice if you hit trace, if you're on the top of the first bar, it has n equals 3 down on the bottom. You have 3 in that section. If you error over, n equals 4. There's 4 in that section. And so forth, and it tells you the values that are in each of those if you use your trace function and just cursor over the top of your bar. So if you were trying to double check what you had done on Alex, you could put it in there and check and make sure everything matches up. So you've got your numbers in, you're going to hit zoom, and you're going to hit number 9 for zoom stack. There they are. If you hit the trace button, then, oops, there it is. Notice I'm on top of that bar, that's a 3. If I cursor over, there's 4 in that one, and so forth. So it says sketch your histogram below. Oh, there's what we can do. We can change our initial class boundary and our ending class boundary if we wanted to. I'm going to go to my window and play. So I'm going to make my x minimum 0.5 because that's my starting value. So if I hit window, my x minimum, I'm going to put 0.5. My x maximum, I'm going to use the 45.5. And then, since my class, I have 5 equal classes, what was my class width? I got to figure that out again. I think it was 9. Yeah, it was. Because remember before we did 45.5 minus 0.5, which was 45, divided by 5 is 9. So my x scale would be 9. Now if I enter that in and hit graph, now I've got the right class widths on my boxes. And notice my graph looks different. So, this one we would want to put in for our x minimum. This one we would want to put in for our x maximum. And then here we would have to figure out what our class width is by subtracting and dividing by 5. So we got 9 there. Now our histogram has the right class boundaries and class widths. That's under your window to change those. That's why we had that on there.
So do you want us to draw that?
So then you're going to sketch what you got on your paper. If I hit trace, my first one is at 6, looks like. Then 2, then 6, and then I can't go, it's 8, and then 1. So just sketch that on your paper.
How do we register them?
Okay. Yeah, there now looks good. So now you're just going to draw that on your paper.
Oh.